other one that we're both not really qualified to talk about, but we will. I'm pretty comfortable declaring it that the climate change has just been, it's a hoax.
What? How dare you?
And the reason why I'm so confident to declare that is because former President Barack Obama's new mansion in Martha's Vineyard.
Is it still above water?
No, well it could be underwater by the year 2010, 2100, according to the climate change model.
2100.
So
probably house won't be there in fucking
80 years. It's only 80 years, but
Martha's Vineyard might not be there. The whole fucking planet might not be here. It could be like blown up with Donald Trump's finger on the button.
Yeah. But no, I just thought it was, for all the scaremongering and whatever.
But it's funny, if you notice people like this who are the scaremongers and some of the politicians that go, climate change, when all this come out and fucking... If you look back at when fucking, what's his name, Gore come out with the unexpected truth, whatever the fuck it was, half the shit he said hasn't even happened now. He was saying this was going to be, the polar caps were going to be melted, this was going to happen, and then all these people that come out backing him, they looked into their things and half of them brought homes down on the coast, on the fucking beach.
Yeah.
So if you're so fucking scared of this stuff, why are you buying oceanfront property and shit to begin with? And then it's like, we get a hot day here and go, this is the hottest day on record since 1954. But then a couple of months later when winter comes, this is the coldest day ever, but they never talk about the coldest days and shit. It's always about the heat when it's hot. This is really hot today, but yet when it's cold, this is the coldest winter. It's never snowed here before. Look, climate change, they went from global warming because they knew that was all bullshit, climate change. And this is a news flash, people. It might change, it might come as a shock to you, but climate change is real. What us normal people call it is the weather.
Yeah.
It happens every fucking day. One day it'll be a hot day, one day it'll be a cold day, one day it'll be a moderate day, and we have things called summer, winter, autumn, spring, and that sort of shit. And when this happens, the weather changes, or as you like to call it now to be alarmist, the climate. And it has been changing for millions of years, and it will change millions of years after. They've already shown how much that humans actually contribute to the fucking change, which is very small. I agree that with pollution, as far as rubbish and shit, that does clog up, drains and shit with papers and that garbage, that doesn't help, and stuff like that going into the ocean, like pollutions, or if an oil tanker fucking spills oil and shit. But as far as the whole thing of we're causing the polar caps to melt and shit, if we weren't here, that would still be fucking happening. As simple as that.
Oh, look, my stance is similar. I think we should minimise our pollution to the environment.
But even now, when you look at China, they're opening up these power stations, coal, which, here we are trying to, say, get rid of all our power stations, which is ridiculous because it's causing pollution, but yet we sell all our coal around the world to the people that have power stations. Stop being fucking hypocrites.
Yeah.
We're going to sell all our coal so they can run power stations, and it's been proven that Australia's like, 0.00000 fucking whatever percentage contributes to the whole fucking world's pollutions. And now, but they've shown China's new power stations, the ones they've got built now, where they're almost zero pollution. By the time the shit comes off and goes into the thing, it goes through this big steaming thing, so all the shit going into the air, there's no pollution at all. They've got some of the cleanest fucking power stations in the world, and then some of the nuclear ones, and people go, we can't have nuclear, remember Chernobyl and all this sort of bullshit. I was like, fucking hell.
No, look,
And if you're so worried about climate too, here we are. Australia's got the perfect climate. America's got the perfect climate because we all have these different seasons. Why isn't every house that's built today built with solar panels? If you're so worried about energy and having all these power stations, every home that is built today should be made mandatory to have solar panels on the fucking roof.
No, well, when governments do things like that, they stuff them up, and what's happened with that is...
But it should just be in the building code, not like when they did the pink bats and shit. And
No, it's the same. All the panels, half the panels are rubbish. They're cheap.
When they try and do the paybacks.
Yeah, they're cheap Chinese ones, and then they actually create more pollution than they save, because
it's like all this better complain about too pollution on electricity. If it wasn't for like these bitches that are complaining on their fucking computers, watching their TVs
Yeah.
and shit, what do you think's powering that? A little fucking mouse in a wheel?
Yeah.
And then they have these. There's the funniest picture I saw a couple of weeks ago. There was this big diesel truck towing a tray. No, it was a petrol truck, like a big, say, like a Ford Raptor Ranger truck,
Yeah.
with a trailer on the back, which had a diesel generator on it, charging an electric car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got this petrol truck pulling along the trailer with the generator on to charge an electric car. So
Well, and back to the so-called sea level rise from climate change. I'll actually post the link to the video in the description.
But have you seen these fishermen that actually live, like say, whether it be Florida, whether it be here in Australia, that have lived on the water their whole life, and they've said the level hasn't risen at all, if not some places it's actually dropped.
No, this video I'll put in, it was actually, and for Australia, well, for people in Sydney, it was actually from Fort Denison.
Okay.
And this, he was
That thing should be underwater by now.
yeah, and he's like an old grumpy scientist, and I've actually seen the thing. Have you been on there?
Oh, it's that little fort in the middle of the harbour.
Yeah, but on the fort, there's actually like a thing that drops down, and it's got super accurate,
Like level.
water level records, and it's measuring the Pacific Ocean, so one of the largest bodies of water, and so-called the ones that the ocean that's so-called sinking these Pacific islands. And this guy's come on and just said, he goes, here's the records. He said, the sea level is not rising. He said, if anything, if I use the same methodology as what these climate people are with climates, they'll notice a temperature increase of, say, 2 degrees over 10 years, and then extrapolate that out 100 and say, well, it's going to be whatever that is, it might be 20 degrees hotter in 100 years because they're only using such a short thing. But he said, actually, if I use these records, it's telling me that the sea level's dropping. And he said, but he goes, I'm not going to do that because the sea level changes, and it always has. But he goes, according to this super accurate record, it's not actually changing. So
it's just like the climate, it gets cold and hot. The ocean goes high and low. It's just all fucking.
Well, that's another video that you should see. This fella, it's a real old one where he goes, I actually examined where they took the measurements from. And obviously, if you're measuring, say if there was a measuring station near the airport in Sydney, years ago there was hardly any planes. Now there's heaps of planes, heaps of tarmac, all the trees are gone. The temperature goes up.
Exactly.
So
even the cities, look at the more concrete you build, the more road you build, the more whatever, it's going to conduct more heat. All the buildings compared to, okay, you take it 60 years ago, there was less buildings, less traffic, there was all this shit that wasn't around, compared to if we just took it when there was just dirt and trees.
No, look, I just think it's one of these things where, they always say
it all comes down to fucking money. Money's behind it all. It's like now when you go to buy a plane ticket, do you want to pay this extra to offset your carbon? Oh, fuck off. What that's going to fucking do, if I pay an extra $20, that's going to offset my carbon, is it? I'm going to save the fucking world if I pay that extra money. Then they